Okay, I wanted to get this documented, and I'm sorry, I don't know why it won't let me download my video from my cell phone onto my YouTube channels. I'm gonna try and tape my recording with my iPad here and see if I can download it from my iPad. So here we go. Okay, that's 2 hours off, so it's actually 5:12 p.m. on 4/24/2026 Friday, and I'm just gonna do a really quick video because my spouse is gonna be home. And I just turned on my Wiggle after not really looking at it all day, and look at how I'm being trafficked. I'm non-consensually. It's network, non-consensual network surveillance, biometric exploitation, the body data is currency, slow kill, profit missions. Look at, so for the last couple days, it's been going to the west here, and that's about almost 2 hours away on a farm. So they've got beacons, antennas, receivers. This is on someone's barn, farmland property in Palisade, Minnesota. And I don't know if they have to have beacons all throughout these properties all the way there. And then actually I'm not sure if it was this morning, but I think it was just this morning that this one had come. First, it was just across my neighborhood for a couple days. So watch this. It was just across the neighborhood. And it's not even there right now. It was further all the way up to here. So it just actually rebooted itself when I tried to click on one. So they're starting to disappear, but it was across my neighborhood all the way up to right around here, the MAC addresses. But now it's and then it was up to here, up to Friedenberg this morning. So it was over here by some people's properties over in Friedenberg, Fish Lake Dam Road. And then I just turned it on, and look how far it goes. 2 hours north up in Mountain Iron, Minnesota. So I don't know if this is like the iron mines here. That's what it looks like, the iron mines. So they've got beacons all the way up here connecting to me. This is disgusting that this is going on. Look at my environment. I'm just being swamped with radio frequency. My neighbors are all profiting off of our oppression and torture and death, and that's what they're allowing to happen in the United States of America. And you have to remember, this isn't only happening to me. I just happen to know that it's happening. Look at all the MAC addresses. So if I try to do some research on some of these MAC addresses, I can see who they're trafficking me to, who owns the. I don't always get answers, but. Well, okay, so he's home, and I'm just gonna quick show you some screenshots that I took earlier before I just got booted out. Just got booted out when I clicked on one to see the location of it. Okay, it's taking a minute to populate here. Okay, photos today. Yeah, it's pretty astonishing. So, yeah, here's where it is. So 1 hour and 50 minutes, 83 miles away is how far that is. And this is what some of these in my environment right now are just before it rebooted. So look at all of those are antennas, beacons, transmitters, receivers that those people are making money off of. This is human trafficking. It's metaverse crimes. It's geoslavery, it's crimes against humanity. This is ugly. This is ugly, ugly. And so look at, so this X6 APP device is coming from way up here on Haynes Road. See, there it is in my environment, but that's where it was, where it came from. See that? And my map wasn't working at the time. Another device coming up here, you know, generated from a neighbor up a block away. All of these, look at these suns behind me. So here's a Qualcomm, that's a semiconductor company, Qualcomm Technologies coming in. There it is right there. So it was way up here by Strand Lake Road. So there's a beacon up there. It was coming from north of me pretty far, off of Martin and Levake Road. And then here's some nodes at my house, still the same device. See, there it is, how far away. These people are making money off of your oppression and torture. We're living a 21st century Holocaust, and this is electronic warfare, extrajudicial killing. It's modern day human trafficking. These are cheater scumbags that are making money off your family's oppression, torture, death, life. Look at that. I won't be silent. So these are coming in nonstop, the Ellie Bows. Look at that, Ellie Bows is as far away as up at Three Lakes Road. See how far that Ellie Bows is coming in from? I'm being swamped nonstop with Ellie Bows. So these are just a few screenshots from just a few minutes ago when I turned on, I was sitting outside. And just quick to talk about what else was going on here. I'll just go to my Twitter profile. So, you know, I woke up about 4:30 this morning. I felt like I was being fried to death. So yeah, this was here's my tweet here comes the, I got psychopath aerial stalkers nonstop over my house. Hear that? Nonstop, I got these serial killers stalking over my house. And you know what? If they think it's just for me, that they're harming the children in the neighborhood, and this is affecting my family. This is crimes against the family. It's crimes against children. That's what these people have, children's blood on their hands. So here I woke 4:30 a.m. woke up feeling like I'm being fried to death. Lethal, monetized, weaponized, RF, UMTS, IMSI, infrasound, do weapons systems. So yeah, it was going, you know, and now, here, let's see if I can click on it. And then, like I said, I thought I'd do a quick video to document that it was going, you know, a couple hours north of even just this one here. So, you know, it's going 2 hours north or west, and now it's going further than here. And, you know, you can see here's how far the Ellie Bows is swamping my environment. So it's, you know, death by RF. And then I also turned on my infrasound detector. No, that's not when I turned it on. It was right here. So then right after that at 4:30, I woke up my infrasound, turned on my infrasound, and I got, you know, 6 beacons coming in from the United States Space Force, the Royal Air Force, off the coast of Africa. I had one in the United Kingdom. This has been a regular since I ever started using this application, and he lives on 10 Flame Tree Circuit in like Melbourne, Australia, and 13 in the United States. And I had six here at Playas, New Mexico Military Training Center, and then, you know, a plethora around the United States. And, you know, and I've just been working really hard. They're going hard because I've been able to, so actually they put in, they spent 2 days putting something in, the power company across the street, big something. So I was documenting that. So I'm not sure, I haven't looked today since they were finishing up, but I don't know if this one came down and they put a new one up there, but a huge transmitter of some kind. And here's one time, a few years back, I came home and there's no way that this ever happened, but they pretended like a car hit this pole and knocked it down. And the thing is, there's a huge ditch in front, and then it's a dead end road. So there's no way that car could have got enough speed to like fly over that ditch and hit that pole and knock it down. But anyway, I was documenting the fact that they're working out at the pole, and then look at what my wiggle war driving looks like. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. And if for the record, I posted that. BlackRock now owns our power company. And, it's just disgusting. I go to sit outside and look what happens in just a few minutes. And I think I posted that. And, I've just been working on investigations of, here was actually somebody from Florida that came in on my infrasound detector, and she's a criminal defense attorney, a family law attorney. And then she ended up, routing to the guy that T-boned me. So from just all the way in Florida, on the second click, it was back in Wisconsin, and then to St. Paul, Minnesota, Stillwater, Dresser, Wisconsin. My mom and my sister live in this small Dresser area, which I find, is a hub. Well, I've talked about that before. Little communities outside your big community is where these military contractors are hanging out. And then it went to Duluth, and the Subzacks, one of the first people I met when I moved to Duluth from a gal I worked with at the Pickwick. They're heavily, now I know, involved. Karen Brooks introduced me to the Subzacks. And then, then they own, it's a bunch of LLCs and companies, and of course a mortgage company, because this is all real estate and insurance fraud and stuff. And, just the same people from here, my old house, so this guy lives just doors down from my old house where my grandkids and daughter live. And what did they say? Oh, and then it just went on. It's the same people that went to my dad's employer. My dad was a vice president of Arrowhead Pest Controls and Chemicals, and it went to the people that owned that company. It was registered since like 1963. So, this is how far this money scheme goes back. And this isn't the first time that I have found these people, the Marians involved in this. So, on and on. So, from there, I've been following a new gal on X here, and I think I might have talked about it before. She's called the Leah Files, and she's been doing a lot of investigation into, a lot of fraud and corruption and the TPUSA Charlie Kirk saga situation. And, I've already documented before that I had found, because I had been seeing the name Kirk in my investigations, and I had found, traced Erica Kirk's parents to, I had a beacon coming in all the way from Flowood, Mississippi, and they connected to that same exact address where that beacon is, plus then here also. And I'm just going to jump off of that. Ilya Omar is back in the news, and, I did an investigation on her and her, my net and Haler, and everybody and their brothers routing back to this same lifelong player group. But not limited to. But here I said, for the record, part one, for the record, I already found the Franze family connecting to Cybertorture network, investigating talking points in the TPS USA situation. Here she mentions, so I'm investigating all the talking points, and she was talking about this Miriam Adelson, who actually owns, like, she was talking about the fact that, something about giving Trump billions of dollars, and she owns like Vegas casinos, and in 3 clicks she was back to my group. So how it went was, she shared a phone number with a guy in Ohio he only had a few people listed as like connections and relatives, but his relative was somebody in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and he is the owner of Colorado Capital Management. And then it came to a Deborah and Mark Klaus, Claus, in here in Duluth, and then went to my neighbors, and of course down, I've talked about it many times, the Maple, Wisconsin, Lake Nebagamon area, and these were people that I call modern and clandestine M culture. I was introduced when I was a young girl to these people, and I should have never known them, and a long story, I'm not going to talk about it all. I'm not going to make this really long. And from there, I've just been investigating all her talking points, and again, they all just continued to come back here. Again, connects to neighbors, lifelong players. My art teacher, I repeatedly find my art teacher, and he drew me in both 5th and 7th grade. Right there, he drew me in 5th and 7th grade, and it just keeps coming back to these same people that make Cybertorture a business plan. And then here's another one. So interesting. This is what I just wrote. Interesting to find over 100 people listed at 3219 East Camelback Road, Phoenix, although not the Suite 411, which she was talking about, which this one went to 411. But this building had over 100 people listed here, and I was finding a plethora of them are from Minnesota. So each one that was from Minnesota, then they all tied back to this same profit plan group. There, and I have a couple more that I did this afternoon while sitting outside that I haven't put together in a grid to post. But again, I just wanted to document this absolutely horrific scene.
Oh, isn't that awful? I'm sorry.
Being trafficked all the way across the state of Minnesota.
He knows I'm filming. I think I'm near the end. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it going.
Mauser Cybertorture. So, identity theft, non-consensual, it's identity theft,
I was
non-consensual human experimentation, network surveillance, biometric. Look at that. Look how far away that Resolve Bose sound system is pulsing me. This is attempted murder. This is extrajudicial killing. It's attempted murder. This is history. They put voices in my daughter's head. She's being tortured to death. She's had her life destroyed. This is your neighbor. Going over to my neighbor's house. Your neighbors are all involved.
At least my neighbors are.
Minnesota.
We're all related, connected.
And this is not just happening to me. You've seen my other documentations. It's happening all over. People just don't know. All right. See if I have a picture of.
Nice.
There we go. There it is. My house, top, middle, flanking are examples of other unsuspecting victims of covert, lethal, monetized, weaponized RF telecommunications surveillance systems via organized criminal predation, community policing, quintilpros, or zone harassment, slow kill. distributions for profit. That's what's happening in the United States of America, and you can see it on Wiggle. You can see that, it's not happening. Russia's not doing it to its people. The United States is mad. The United States has gone mad. Looks like that because this is what's happening. This is what's happening, You can see what other countries are doing it to their people, where they are and where they're not. Again, these are all unsuspecting people in the state of Minnesota. It's gang stalking, it's voyeurism. They're listening and watching everything you say and do. It's we're living Nazi Germany all over again in the 21st century, modern day silent Holocaust. And then here's again different community, different states, pictures of different states and communities. Okay, well, I just wanted to get that on record. It's pretty awful stuff. Direct energy weapons, your neighbors participating in awfulness. Okay, it's not working very well. It's not cooperating. All right, documenting cybertorture defined by United Nations Torture Rapporteur Nils Melzer. My entire family on the OFAC watch list, tied to the likes of Osama bin Laden, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what happened here. My Zoom went way up. It's obviously a scheme. And to have all of these organizations and people, routing back to the same group of people. I mean, I've even investigated other targeted people, and they seem to come back to Minnesota. I don't know what's going on, if it's the head of the snake or what, but even this, if you can follow this, the Leah files. I like what she's investigating, although she doesn't acknowledge me, but that's okay. There again, I'm going to start this thread off where the leg of the spider began. The Minnesota fraud corruption broke with feeding our future mastermind, Amy Bach. I realized her family, who lives doors down from my grandkids, was in my environment over a year ago, biohacking my data. So here I had a device coming in my environment all the way from up here. Here's my house. And that's the Amy Bach's family who lives. This is my grandkids' house. This is where Amy Bach's family lives, right here. And then they had a device coming into my house from that far away. Clicking off. But, yeah, so, that kind of started my investigation into the, all the Somali fraud and, the Minnesota Ilham Omar and, all of them, all of it's, here's that device in my environment coming from Amy Bach's family's house, two doors right here from my grandkids. And that's like 5 miles away from my house. Yep, Amy Bach, see that? Amy Bach. So, you can't make it up. Alrighty. Do a better video again, maybe later. I still haven't talked about my trip. It went as well as, it can be. Endured the usual gang stalking and direct energy weapons and poisoning, but the music was fabulous, and for it to be a last minute spontaneous trip, I'm grateful. I had a good time. This Miriam Beach, Florida. You know, the beach is like, the sand is like butter and the water's like emeralds, and it was gorgeous. The weather was great. All right. Sometimes you just need to talk about something, not for sympathy or help, but just to kill its power by allowing the truth of things to hit the air. All right. Over and out. Thank you. Okay, that's 2 hours off, so
Thanks
it's
for listening.
actually 5:12
I'm gonna see if I can
p.m.
download it.
4/24/2026, Friday. And I'm
Here.
just gonna do a really.
Let's see who's on flight radar. Hear him? Lifelink 3. 2,000 feet above my house, right over. All day. See all the documents, all the flight radars in there. They put some new holes in my shirt here. New holes in my shirt. They already exchanged some new pajamas for lookalikes, ugly lookalikes. They, here actually I took out this laptop bag and they ripped the bag in the last couple days. I hadn't used it all winter, but now that I'm going outside, I bring my stuff outside in it, and they put a rip in it. Yeah, they sewed up this band on these pants. I bought these pants off of like eBay, and they see how they crunched made it smaller. See that? That's what they did with those. I was bummed. And I was just too tired to get out of bed to try to document stuff. All right. Non-stop ugliness. Oh, here, I'll just quick show a couple pictures of my trip. I think they were hitting me there. I was on my trip. Or maybe I was home there. Yeah, it was a pretty spectacular, they organized event. The venue was just awesome. There's Joe Bonamosama. He's just fabulous, Everybody was just fabulous. JJ Gray and Mofro. Fabulous. That was Little Feet. Government Mule, Warren Hayes. Look at how cool that shot was. We had just Grace Potter. Look at that. She had a Minnesota shirt on. I'm hoping it was to show support for me in her own way. There's Joe. And how lucky our seats were. So most of the people were just like out here, and we ended up being in this cove type of thing. Let's see if I have a picture of it. And then afterwards, look at, I had a beacon on my infrasound coming in while I was home, and then they were coming in on from right. So here's the condo they were at, and I had a beacon coming in after I got home from Miriam Beach. Yeah, getting stalked. Was at the Destin airport, and it was cool. I think that's like a new an F-35 or something, but they were flying around, so that was pretty cool. Of course, there's gang stalker. Just stops. They stop right next to you. They have no problem. No problem doing it. And I posted that. That was ugly. That guy. He was at the pool too, at my pool, and then we were out for dinner, and he showed up at the same place. It was all planned. That's where we ate at the last night at the wharf. There's me. And this is what it looks like. You know, geo-slavery. Well, actually, when I was there, a lot of the time, you know, I'm in Florida, but my IP was saying that I was up in Georgia there, and I think I was by one of the times I was by the Navy credit union. But it's hard to see all that. I'll just click on a few more pictures of the event here. You know, it was pretty great. Here's my cove. So see, I was in a little cove type of thing, and that was the people, you know, we bought the tickets third party. There I am. Little chubby me. There's a fish. Seen a fish. Here, while I was down there, there's the DEA surveillance van showing up on my Waggle. And I found that they had the same weapon system. They had some really interesting devices coming in, transceiving system technology, federal state, how do you say that? Unitary enterprise from Russia. So what interesting was about that FBI surveillance van was one night we got picked up in an Uber from a Russian guy, and then that was the device that showed up the next morning in my environment. He picked us up in a Tesla that had the like the wing type doors that open up like a Lamborghini. I have a picture of it somewhere here. Here's just our pool area. Let's see, I was trying to find that Lamborghini. There's me. And then there was drones, so that's in between the canopy, and there was a drone. Always drone right there above me, and then see there was a drone right there, always right above the stage. That was Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Don't want to get a strike. And then there was also a drone over to the north of me above this tree too there. I got hit with a direct energy weapon there. There was a lot of flyovers there too. Lots of flyovers. At the beach. It was being watched pretty heavily at the beach. I'm trying to find that. Here's me again. Funny, I didn't even notice this till I got home. I was taking, we were getting to the event, and it ends up being this guy was the guy that gave us a ride to the airport. So that's pretty interesting. This wasn't just, it happens to be in the picture that I, took of, I was taking a picture of the fire truck, and I noticed that, wow, this is the guy that picked us up and took us to the airport. So that was kind of an interesting capture. So yeah, they have the same weapon system. So here, AT&T, they have the same AT&T mobility that we do here. I have at home. I'm trying to find that Uber car, and then I'll stop right here. So look at that. So that's the Uber with those doors. See, look at his face too. This is my Uber driver. And then the next day I have that Russian weird device coming in my environment. You see, that's human trafficking. That's geo-slavery. I'm being tracked all the way to the cities. And then I even traced this. So I was at, we stayed at the Hilton and, Park and Fly. And I was connecting to a house that ended up, I trace routed them. They were Somali-owned businesses, see, in Richfield, Minnesota. I can't remember exactly what else, but I think it, of course, came back here. So anyhow, all right. I just wanted to document those beacons that are coming 2 hours to the west and 2 hours to the north of me. That's pretty ugly stuff. All right. Over and out.